post submission there are a lot of queries which you are required to handle. ECHS does not take up these queries directly with the hospital. They tell you have been overcharged. Then you go to the hospital and you tell them you have been overcharged.
For the veterans, there is something known as ECSH, Ex-Servicemen Contributory Health Scheme. For the officers, those who retire, an amount of rupees 1,20,000 is being charged to be a member of the ECSH. When this scheme was initially launched, the short service officers were kept out of it. Finally, with the endeavors of Captain R.K. Bhardwaj, ECSH in 2019 was granted to the SS officers. But for the SS officers, surprisingly, it was given only for the couple, the husband and the wife, the officer and the wife, but not for the children or the parents. So class within the class, I don't know how many classes were created out there also. Then there was something known as 5 to 10 years, they will get 50% reimbursement. Then over 15 years or over 10 years, they will get 75% reimbursement. So this policy that came for the SS officers was, okay, first you get yourself treated at the impaneled hospital, and then you pay whatever the hospital charges you as per the ECS and CGS rate, and then they will you will pay, and thereafter claim it from the ECSH polyclinic from where you got the reference. So I'll take you over to the voice of Captain M.M. Sethi. Since he is more than 81 years old and not very familiar with the video conference and other skills, so whatever best he could send over the voice messages, that I'll play for you, so that you will come to know that how our MOD has once again betrayed the trust. Over to the voice of Captain M.M. Sethi.
Well, friends, I am a short service commission officer, now 82 years old, and I have experienced some problems while getting treatment in hospitals under the ECHS scheme. And I want to tell you and make you aware, as you may face these problems at some stage of life when you have to undergo treatment in hospitals. So please listen carefully and be prepared, because at the last moment it may be very difficult to find a solution. God forbid you fall sick and you are admitted in a hospital and you are required to clear the bill before you are discharged. These days the bills run into lakhs. So supposing you get a bill of 2, 3 or 4 lakhs, who has a ready cash of such large amount in the bank? So how do you pay this bill? The problem becomes more complex if you are a senior citizen and living alone. How do you organize funds? Even if you have to take a loan from the bank, you have to go there and you have to complete all the formalities. So from where does that big chunk of money come to pay the bill? The best thing could have been that you pay only 50 or 25% of the bill, and then the bill is forwarded to ECHS for full and final payment. This way, your liability to pay such huge sum is reduced. and any amounts that have been overcharged are refunded to you. Now you are, by paying the full amount, you are taking the liability of ECHS to pay the bill, rest of the money which they are asking you to pay. So this is very unfair. Another point that should be noted is that you are required to scrutinize the bills before paying at the time of your discharge. Now, how do you scrutinize the bills? You don't even have the ECHS rates. You have nothing in your hand, and you are lying down, you are half conscious, and you think at that stage you are going to sit and scrutinize the bills. This is ridiculous, and it is not practical and impossible. Whosoever made this policy should have given a thought. In the normal process, these bills are forwarded to ECHS, and then they are scrutinized by various agencies in ECHS before the final bill is payment. And here they expect you that you scrutinize the bills before make payment. I can't understand this. Now, after you have paid the bill, you come back and submit the bills to ECHS. Now, post submission, there are a lot of queries which you are required to handle. ECHS does not take up these queries directly with the hospital. They tell you have been overcharged. Then you go to the hospital and you tell them you have been overcharged. Now, in one particular case, I told the ECHS to take up a case with the hospital and to pay me the overcharged amounts. Hospital, it has been 2 years, the hospital is just not responding, and ECHS is feeling totally helpless. I've visited their office so many times, and they say, sir, what can we do? We'll send them a reminder and the matter ends there. Secondly, that ECHS has a paperless work in their office. Everything is on computers. And you need to constantly follow up your case. Unless you go there, nothing happens. If you go and remind them so many times, they just ignore you, they don't bother. You go after 2 months, the things are where they stand. They have very little interest. Now, in following up these matters, now in one case, they disallowed certain amount and I asked them what is this and why it has been disallowed. They said it is for a non-scheduled test, a test which is not in the ECHS schedule. So I said, how do you take care of this in cashless treatment? They said, we take sanction from higher authorities. So why not take sanction in my case? ECH is the same for us and for cashless people. They said, okay, we will take a sanction. And it has been 6 to 8 months and they just tell me that it is under process. So that amount cannot be paid to me. All this is rubbish. It is a joke on short service commission officers. All this is totally impossible and impractical. And the sufferers are we short service commission officers. Somebody has to look into this in a very serious manner and resolve all these matters. It is such a pitiable condition that whenever I go to the ECHS office to follow up things, I find that Lieutenant Colonel lady that she is always busy on her phone, probably WhatsApp, watching videos and things like that. No doubt these hospitals are crying that their bills worth crores are pending and nobody cares. Yeah, this is shocking. People get such fat salaries and they just come to the office wide awake time. I don't see anyone overburdened with work. People are in a very relaxed mood, and officers and staff both. And they all are taking life very easy as if they are on a holiday. It's a pitiable condition. What will happen to ECHS? What will happen to this country where such like officers are there? God help.